Let's know how many people are online. If you're online, please could you drop your where you're joining us from? Could you let us know where you're joining us from? Hello. Let's know where you're joining us from. Tell your friends, tell your family members, tell everyone you know that we are live. Go to your group chat, tell everyone you know that we are live. You're welcome to today's webinar. If you are joining us, can you put into the chat box where exactly you're joining us from? Represent your city in the chat box. Let's know where you're joining from. And please do well to share this across your social media platforms. Put it on your status. Let everyone know that we are live and they should join this conversation. It's going to be a very, very interesting conversation. And our speaker is here in the background, ready to dish from our wealth of wisdom, and I don't want you to miss out. Thank you, Abby. Abby is joining us from York, UK. Thank you, Abby, from York, UK. How is York? Hope not too sunny today. It's a beautiful day today. Looks quite sunny. Thank you, everyone. Let's wait for a few more people to join. Please, if you are joining us, please could you put in where you are joining us from? Let's know what part of UK or what part of the world you're joining us from. And please do well to put it on a social media platform. You don't be selfish with the information that you are going to be listening to today. Put it on your status, put it on different WhatsApp group you belong to. Let people come and learn. Don't hold the knowledge to yourself. Don't hold the information for yourself alone. Good evening, and welcome. Good evening. Please, could you put in where you're joining us from? Put in the chat box. We have Abby in the building joining us all the way from York. I think it's just wait 2 more minutes and then we start. So Abby or whoever is on the live stream, could you tell us what are your expectations for today's session? When you saw the flyer or you saw the broadcast, what came to your mind? Why did you think, I need to be here? Anyone want to share? Please feel free to use the comment section. It doesn't bite. So let's know what came to your mind when you saw it, like diaspora parenting in 2026. What's the first thing that came to your mind? What are your expectations? Or did you just join because they said you should join, or somebody literally forced you out to join? Let's know, what are your expectations? What's going on in your mind? Why do you think you need to be here? What are things you hope to learn even in this conversation tonight? Hey, you all are keeping quiet on me. That's not fair. Who's going to start? Come on, I can see people online, but you people are not answering my questions. Abby, do you want to help out? What are your expectations in this webinar? Good evening, welcome. For those that are just joining us, you are welcome to another beautiful session today, themed Diaspora Parenting in 2026. And this is powered by PSP, Parents Supporting Parents in the UK. Thank you so much, Abby, just to learn the latest updates about parents. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm sure you're going to learn that. So today we'll be talking about the hidden dangers affecting children in diaspora and practical strategies to build confidence, identity, self-esteem, and intelligence. And our host is no other person than Coach JMA, Coach Jennifer Mma Okeke, and she's right there in the building. And before I bring her up stage, let me just do a quick introduction about PSP. From the slide, you can see PSP means Parents Supporting Parents in the UK. And who are we? We've got a vision to empower African parents in the UK to help them thrive in a diverse society while raising wholesome families and fostering a sense of community. It's all about community. It's a community set up to help parents thrive and to raise wholesome families. We can't do life alone, and that's why we need each other. We need this community. And our tagline is supporting each other, raising strong families. We support each other while raising strong families. And here's our mission to provide a supportive and inclusive environment where Nigerian and generally African parents in the UK, where you can share experiences, access resources, and also build good network, reliable network that promotes mutual learning and holistic well-being for themselves and their families. Um, it's a community whereby you are free to express yourself, express your fears, express your concerns, come in and ask questions, and you can be sure someone is definitely going to respond to your questions. And through collaboration and advocacy, our plan is to equip Nigerian parents with the tools and knowledge needed to navigate the challenges of parenting even in this century. So just wanted to know that you are not alone when it comes to this parenting game. And I understand relocation, being in a new country, being in in a different environment can put a lot of stress on people, but we don't want you to bear that burden alone. And that's why we have created a community like this just to help us share that burden so that you don't have to carry it alone. So these are our values: respect, empathy, mutual support, education, advocacy, and community engagement. And over the years, we've had series of webinars ranging from finance, education, productivity. We've talked about girls and their body. We've talked about financial freedom. We've even talked about sexual satisfaction in marriage. We've talked about raising confident and empowered girls. And our topics range, I mean, our webinars ranges across various topics. And it's just been amazing. So, let me just skip through all of this. We also had the International Women's Day celebration to celebrate the amazing women. We also have Father's Day also. And if you are interested, if you feel that this community resonates with you and you feel like you need a support system like this, and that's the link to join. I'm also going to drop the URL in the chat box so that anyone who feels interested in joining, just note that you can only join with your UK number. We don't allow other countries. I mean, just for security, just to be sure that the people that are on the group are people who are residents in the United Kingdom. Thank you so much. And so before I bring up our speaker, uh, Oluwatosin had said that our expectation is to learn the things I don't know to be able to improve on them. Amazing. So if you are just joining us before the introduction, this event is powered by Parents Supporting Parents in the UK, and we are a community who helps families thrive in the UK. And if you are just joining us, could you tell us what part of the United Kingdom you are joining from and what are your expectations in this webinar? So, are you ready for the conversation? If you are, let me see the emojis in the chat box. Let me see how excited you are before I bring on the coach herself. I need to see the emoji. I need to see that willingness and readiness in you. at least let somebody drop something so that I will know that I'm not talking to the air. Somebody's actually listening to what I'm saying. So drop in your emojis, your fire emojis. Hey, thank you, Chinasa, joining from the UK. What part of UK, Chinasa? So if you are ready for the coach, sit tight and get your popcorn, get your notepad, because you are in for a great ride today. And I trust God to help us in today's conversation. So please do welcome with me, Coach Jennifer, as she takes on the conversation. Thank you. So over to you, Coach.
Hello, everyone. Good day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today from different parts of the UK. It's such a joy to be here with you all. Before I say anything, I just want to give all the glory to God. I want to give all the honor and praise to my Lord Jesus Christ for the privilege to be here today. And I pray that the Holy Spirit will take control and help us in this conversation of today. A very special shout out to the organizers, the organizers of PSP. Is an amazing platform. I am deeply grateful to Mrs. Atinuke. Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you. And for every friend that has joined here, I want to say a very big shout out. I can see all of you. It's so good to have you all here today. I want to advise us to share the link to our friends. Put it on your status. I want to celebrate each and every one of you. Please take a moment to appreciate yourselves as well, because it's not easy. Parenting in the diaspora is not easy at all. I can tell you for free. You're raising children between cultures. You are navigating identity questions, things that you never had to answer as a child, or questions you never had to ask as a child, and things like that. You're protecting your children from pressures that previous generations never ever really faced. The fact that you are here today tells me something very important, that you are not just raising children, you are intentional. You are intentionally raising future leaders. And for that, you deserve to be celebrated. So please celebrate yourselves. Well done to you all. So my name is Jennifer Mma Okeke. But then the children I work with, and of course the parents who also trust me with their children, they call me Coach JMO. I'm a confidence coach for children and teenagers. I am the founder of the Exceptional Children's Tribe. The Exceptional Children's Tribe is an online mentoring platform dedicated to raising confident and emotionally intelligent children. And I want to be clear about the people I serve, because it matters to me. My core niche, my heartbeat, is helping African children living in the diaspora to discover and stay rooted in their identity, to stand firm in who they are and whose they are, to grow with confidence, resilience, emotional intelligence, and healthy self-esteem. This is very important. So that when the world comes for them with bullying, with racism, with, the quiet pressure to shrink and disappear and to become someone else, they stand. They stand strong. They do not break. They stand very strong. Now, let me tell you why I do what I do. Because I didn't choose this work from a textbook or from anywhere. This work actually chose me through my own daughter. So when we relocated to the UK some years ago, my friend's daughter was only 4 years old then. And she was she used to be very confident. Genuinely, beautifully confident back home in Nigeria. She didn't wait to be invited as a child. She would set her own little table. She would arrange the chairs the way she wanted it and decide who was, sitting on which chair and all of it, if you know what I mean. She walked into rooms like she owned the room. So she joined reception when we came in here. She joined the reception class. And at first, everything looked very fine. A few weeks into school, her classmates nominated her as the friendship buddy, voted for her, by the other children. So I was proud. I said, she's doing well. So I thought She's settling all right. She's okay. She's fine. I actually thought she was doing great. But a few months later, something changed for her. She started becoming withdrawn. She started becoming quiet. And then came the part that really, really broke my heart. Every single day when I came to collect her from school, she would be crying. And then she would say to me the same words most times. She said, Mommy, no one wants to play with me. I didn't get it, because this is a child who months earlier did not care who wanted to play with her, because of course she would simply build her own world, if you know what I mean, and let others join in. Now she was standing at the edge, waiting to be chosen and being passed over. She was the only Black child in her class at that time, and it kept going until one day she looked up at me through her tears, and then she begged me to change her school. She said she never wanted to return to that school again. In that moment, I knew this was bigger than I had ever imagined. Honestly, so I made a decision. I made a serious decision. I did not change her school. No, of course, because I knew the school was not the problem at all. Her classmates were not the problem. They were not the issue at all. They were 4 and 5 years old, right? And they had simply never seen a child who looked that way before. So that's not cruelty, that is unfamiliarity. The real issue was internal. Her confidence had been shaken by relocation. And confidence is the thing I knew how to rebuild. So I went to work. I folded my sleeves. I went to work intentionally, with formation and with practical strategies. I rebuilt her day by day until she began to embrace her identity again, until she understood deep in her bones that she's unique, that she's special, that she's different on purpose. And everything changed. Everything. Today, she chooses her friends. In fact, she doesn't wait to be chosen. No. She knows the difference between a real friend and an acquaintance. She stands at the front with so much confidence. In fact, she taught her own teacher some Igbo words. Oh yes, her British teacher. She teaches her classmates her language, about her culture, and she has been voted for the school counselor three times in a row. She's in year 4 now. She was voted in year 1, year 2, year 3. Oh, I think it's 4 times, because it started in year 1. Till now, she's still the school counselor. Her year 1 teacher then pulled me aside and said to me one day, she said she has changed completely. She carries herself with such positive self-esteem. You see, 3 different times in her end of term report, I've gotten amazing feedbacks from her teachers. Comments like, we see a future head pupil in her. It has come several times, even from her head teacher as well. We see a future head pupil in her. Because here's the truth I want to let us understand. When a child lacks confidence, everyone can see it. It doesn't hide. The teacher sees it. The classmates, they see it. It leaks out of everything they do. And when a child's confidence is intact, that shows in everything as well. Everything. That is why I am here today. That experience drove me into deep research. And what I found is the thing I need every parent on this call to understand today. Let me even ask a question, please. How many of us grew up hearing statements like, children should be seen and not heard? Don't question adults because I said so, you have to do it. Things like that. Now compare that with, the children we are raising today. Children who ask why, who ask how, who ask who said so, why should I do it? Can you explain more? Do you understand? Do you get what I'm saying? The parenting manual has changed completely. The world has changed. The pressures have changed. And if we don't adapt intentionally, our children will be shaped by the society instead of being, shaped by purpose. So we must adapt. Now, let's talk about what relocation really, really does. This is important. Here's what my research revealed. I told you I went into deep research, right? I need you to hear this clearly. Even a confident child, yes, even a confident child loses something in relocation. It's not a sign that that you're a bad parent. No, it's not. It's not a sign that your child is weak. No, it is predictable. And once you understand it, you can protect against it. Let me give you the science because you deserve more than just my opinion, right? You deserve evidence. The largest study ever done on this it was a review of 214 studies covering more than 91,000 young people. It found that when children and even teenagers, when they experience racial and ethnic discrimination, it is directly linked to poorer self-esteem, more depression and anxiety, lower academic achievements, less motivation in school. The source is Benner et al. In 2018. That was when he did that. And critically, research has found that all of them, the effects are stronger in children and teens than in adults. So let that sink in. The very same wound that an adult could just shrug off, it lands harder on a developing child. Our children are not too sensitive. No, they are developmentally more vulnerable to these things. That is biology, not weakness. Now, a second major review of migrant children found that they carry a higher risk of depression, of anxiety, and emotional and behavioral difficulties than children who never moved. Driven by exactly the things our children face, loss of friends, loss of familiar people, language, cultural barriers, and things like that. The pressure to fit into a new world just overnight, right? This study was done by Fezol et al. These are Now, let me just take you inside your child's brain for a moment, because this is where it really becomes real, right? When a child feels rejected, when a child feels excluded, when a child is made to feel less than, the brain does something remarkable and really tragic. The amygdala of the brain, the amygdala is the brain's alarm system. You know that, the smoke detector. It goes into overdrive. To a child's brain, social rejection is processed in almost the same place as physical pain. So when my daughter, for example, said nobody wanted to play with her, excuse me, when she said no one wants to play with me, her brain was registering something close to physical injury. She wasn't exaggerating. She was really hurting, literally. And when that alarm stays switched on day after day after day, at the school gates, the body floods with cortisol. That's the stress hormone. Now, chronic cortisol does two devastating things to a developing child. First, it attacks the hippocampus. That's the center of memory and learning, right? This is why an anxious, low confidence child cannot really concentrate fully. They can't retain what they learn. They start falling behind. It's not because they are not smart or they are not clever. It's just because their brain is too busy surviving to learn, right? It is suppressed. The other thing that happens is that it suppresses the prefrontal cortex. That's the part of the brain that's responsible for decision making, for impulse control, for judgment. The part that says this looks good, but is it wise? That part of the brain. When a child lives in chronic stress and low self-worth, in fact, the wise thinking part of the brain just goes quiet. It just goes off, and the fearful reactive part takes over completely. And now, connect the dots. A child whose thinking brain is suppressed, whose self-worth is low, who is desperate to belong, to belong somewhere is a child who will say yes to the wrong friends. Is a child who will say yes to the wrong relationship, who will say yes to wrong influences just to feel wanted. Do you get that? That's the link nobody talks about. And this is really dangerous. Low confidence is not just an emotional issue, no. It is a safety issue. It is a decision-making issue. When identity is missing, attention becomes identity. And a child who is starving for attention will accept it from anywhere it comes from and from anyone. And this is quite dangerous. Let me show you how silent this can be. I once received a message from a child, almost 10 years old then, a bright, capable, the kind of child a parent looks and think, he's fine, he's doing great, he's doing well. The message simply read, "Coach, I am depressed." Honestly, immediately I saw it, I had to call the mom immediately. This family had just relocated, to the UK only about a year before then. On the outside, everything was fine. On the inside, the boy was drowning. We had sessions together. We worked on identity, we worked on self-understanding, and on rebuilding, the internal foundation that relocation had quietly knocked off or knocked out. And this young person came back to life. The depression was lifted. Today, he's thriving wonderfully. He's leading in school. He's doing remarkable things. But I want you to hear this. This part is very important because this is the part that keeps me up at night. That child was able to reach out because he was in the tribe. He was in the exceptional tribe. So he had somewhere to run to, right? He had somewhere to turn. How many children today are carrying that exact message in their chest right now and have nowhere to send it? How many children? Let's talk about the big question. What is the greatest threat facing diaspora children today? What is the greatest threat? Now, most parents worry about things like drugs, social media, of course, bad company, negative influences, negative peer of pressure, crime and gang culture and things like that, right? The truth is this. Some parents even worry about academic pressure, right? But these are actually genuine concerns, and I agree they are very genuine concerns. But beneath many of these challenges lies a deeper issue that we don't even see. A deeper issue, that's identity confusion. Identity confusion. When a child does not know who they are, they become vulnerable to anyone willing to tell them who they should be. Did you get that? At this point, I want to challenge us to think a little deeper. When parents are asked what keeps them awake at night, maybe they often mention social media, bad friends, gangs. I've heard that from a lot of parents. Bullying, drugs, harmful online influences, things like that, even racism and stuff like that. And they're absolutely right? They're absolutely right to be concerned about these things. However, after working with children and teenagers and families, I have discovered that many of these issues, all of these, most of them, are often symptoms of a deeper problem. That deeper problem is what I called identity confusion. Many diaspora children are growing up between two cultures, between two worlds. At home, they may be taught one set of values, traditions, expectations, things like that. Outside the home, they encounter something totally different. They encounter a completely different set of messages about success, about relationships, about culture, about gender, about belonging, about self-worth. As a result, many children silently wrestle with, questions. Questions such as, who am I really? Where do I even belong? Do you understand? Am I British enough? Am I African enough? This is very serious for children. For adults, it might feel okay, but they feel very different. What part of myself should I even hide so that people will accept me? These are what goes on in the heads of your children. And these questions may never be spoken aloud, but they influence behavior every day. They influence their behaviors. Children who are unsure of their identity often become more susceptible to peer pressure. Because the human need for belonging is incredibly powerful. You know that, right? We are created to belong. Now, research in developmental psychology shows that a strong sense of identity is one of the greatest protective factors for young people. One of the greatest. Children who know who they are, what they value, and where they belong are generally more resilient when facing challenges. Rejection, when they face rejection, when they face external pressures, they are resilient. Do you understand? Just think of identity as an anchor. When storms come, an anchored ship may sway, but it does not drift away. In the same way, when children have a strong sense of identity, they can navigate. They can navigate social media. They can navigate peer pressure. They can navigate discrimination. They can navigate cultural conflicts and life disappointments without losing themselves. But when identity is weak, every opinion becomes important. Every opinion from whoever. Every rejection feels devastating. I'm telling you, every trend becomes tempting. Every trend, whether the ones on social media, it becomes trending. Every friendship becomes a source of validation. This is why I believe that one of the greatest gifts we can give our children is not merely protection from danger, but clarity about who they are. Clarity. Because a child who knows who they are, that child is much harder to manipulate. Honestly, a child that knows who they are, a child who knows their worth is less desperate for approval. A child who understands their identity is more likely to make decisions aligned with their values rather than their emotions and stuff like that. Can I still be heard? Please put in the comment section if you're hearing me. I want to be sure I'm still here. As parents, our responsibility is not only to protect our children from the world, is to equip them. Is to equip them to stand confidently in the world without losing themselves, without losing their values. So if identity confusion is one of the greatest hidden dangers facing diaspora children today, the next question will be, what specific pressures are causing this identity confusion? What specific? Let's just explore the specific pressures. Let's explore the hidden dangers many children are facing right now. The hidden dangers that many children are facing right now. Now let's talk about the truth. The truth is that many diaspora children don't really feel accepted in either world at all. You know that, and this can create confusion, insecurity, and a feeling of not fully belonging anywhere. Right? Now, research consistently shows that a strong sense of belonging is one of the greatest human needs, is one of the greatest predictors of emotional well-being. So when children know where they belong, where exactly they belong, they flourish. That's the truth. They just flourish. When they don't know, they begin searching for belonging in unhealthy places. They begin searching anywhere they see it. And that's why intentional parenting is so important in our world today. If we do not help define our children's identity, if we do not define our children's identity, the society will gladly do it for us. When children are struggling to answer the question of who am I, it often leads to the first hidden danger. And the first hidden danger is what I'm going to be talking about in the next slide. Hidden danger 1, that's identity fragmentation. Identity fragmentation. When children experience identity fragmentation, they become confused about who they are. They become very confused. They hide parts of themselves. Have you seen that before? They hide part of themselves to just fit in. Their confidence becomes unstable in different ways. Their self-worth becomes dependent on acceptance, on different things. A child who is constantly changing to fit in eventually loses sight of who they really are. That's the truth. That is the truth. Identity fragmentation happens when children feel that they must become different, and they must become different people in different environments. Do you get that? So they learn to maybe wear masks, one mask at home, another mask at school, another in maybe playgrounds, another mask even online for those online, another mask with friends when friends are around. So over time, this becomes exhausting for the child, really exhausting, honestly. Imagine trying to remember, one version of yourself to present all the time. It's very exhausting. So eventually, children begin suppressing parts of who they are. And, some become embarrassed by their names. I've seen it happen over and over again. Some hide their culture. Some stop speaking their language, or even speaking, they want to change their accent. Some avoid talking about their family, traditions, and things like that. Not because they dislike them, no, but because they fear rejection. I had a child that said he wanted to bleach his skin because he wanted to appear like his classmates. The danger is that children start believing I am only acceptable if I change who I am. It's a serious danger. That belief is very dangerous, because confidence cannot grow where authenticity is absent. Did you hear that? Confidence cannot grow where authenticity is absent. True confidence, it comes from being comfortable with who you are. When you're comfortable in your own skin, not from pretending to be someone else at all. So parents, our goal is not simply to help children fit in. No. Our goal is to help them stand out confidently without feeling ashamed of who they are. That's our goal. Children who know who they are do not need to become someone else to be accepted. Honestly, unfortunately, identity fragmentation often leads to, another hidden danger. Yes, let's talk about the next hidden danger that it leads to. Hidden danger 2, the validation trap. This is a serious one. The validation trap. Today's children are growing up in a world of likes, followers on social media. For those on social media, views, comments, comparison everywhere. Excuse me. Dangerous belief systems. They believe my worth depends on what others think about me. Very dangerous belief system, honestly. Now, never before in history have children had so many opportunities to compare themselves with others. It has never happened this way before. Every day they see perfect pictures. They see perfect families, in quotes, perfect bodies, perfect lifestyles, perfect achievements. But most of it is carefully edited reels. They're not real, like carefully edited. The problem is not social media itself, actually. The problem is when children and, of course, teenagers begin using it as a measuring stick for their own life, for their worth, for their self-worth. So you see, many children today ask themselves things like, am I popular enough? Excuse me. Things like, am I attractive enough? Am I successful enough? Do people even like me? What do people even think of me? Things like that. The danger is that their confidence becomes tied to approval. So when people praise them, they feel valuable. Do you get that? And then when people reject them, they feel worthless, like completely worthless. But true confidence is not built on applause at all. It's not built on validation. It's built on identity. It's built on identity. Research shows that children who develop intrinsic self-worth are more resilient and less likely to be controlled by peer pressure. I teach this a lot in the Exceptional Children's Tribe. Intrinsic self-worth. Parents, we must teach our children. Yes, we must. You don't need everyone's approval to have value. You must tell them that. Your worth is not determined by likes at all. Your worth is not determined by popularity. No. Your worth is not determined by comparison. No. Comparison actually steals joy. I'm telling you. Your value is inherent. Teach them. Children who know their worth are less likely to sell themselves cheaply for acceptance. We see a lot of that happening now, especially for the female children and teens. When children begin seeking validation externally, emotional struggles often follow. Serious emotional struggles. We'll go to the next slide. Let me talk about hidden danger 3. Silent emotional struggles. When children are silently experiencing, anxiety, loneliness, rejection, fear of failure, low self-esteem, emotional overwhelm. Just because a child is smiling or your teen is smiling does not mean they are coping. No. I'm telling you, it happened to me. One of the greatest mistakes adults make is assuming that children have fewer problems because, of course, they're always playing around, they are young and all of it. No, today's children face enormous emotional pressures. I'm telling you, social pressure, identity pressure, performance pressure. Oh yes, a lot of performance pressure now. Friendship pressure, online pressure for the teens. Yet many children do not have the vocabulary to explain what they are feeling. Unfortunately, they don't. Instead of saying things like I am anxious, they may become withdrawn and you'll be wondering what's going on. Instead of saying I am overwhelmed, for example, they may become irritable, and they'll begin to act out. Instead of saying things like I feel rejected, they may just act out. So behavior is often communication for them, especially the younger ones. Many children's struggles go unnoticed because parents are looking for words, while children are even expressing, emotions through behavior. So a child who suddenly becomes angry may actually be hurt. They may actually be hurt. A child who becomes quiet may actually be anxious without us knowing. A child who just becomes defiant may actually be struggling internally. Now, one of the greatest gifts parents can give is emotional safety. A home where children can talk openly without fear of judgment, without fear of shame, without ridicule, without dismissal. What children cannot express, they often suppress. What they suppress often affects their well-being. That's the truth. And when emotional needs are unmet, children often begin looking elsewhere for belonging. So we must be careful about that. Let's talk about the hidden danger 4. I want to run. Peer pressure and belonging pressure. I've talked a bit about this before. Every child asks a particular question. Where do I belong? Who am I? Who accepts me? Where do I belong? Who understands me? You see that? The reality is that, so pressure everywhere. The reality is that children often sacrifice values, identity, confidence, even boundaries to gain acceptance. Parents often underestimate the power of belonging. Human beings are wired for connection. We must know that human beings are wired for connection, especially during childhood and adolescence. Connection is key for them. In fact, neuroscience tells us that social acceptance activates the reward centers in the brain. Did you see that? So belonging actually feels good. Belonging feels good for a child, and rejection really, really hurts for them. For many children, fitting in can feel more important than being right. Did you hear that? Fitting in can feel more important than being right. This is why good children sometimes make poor decisions. Yes, this is the reason. Not because they are bad or they want to be bad. No, but because they desperately want acceptance. I've had several cases like that. Several. Many children know something is wrong, yet they still participate in it. Why? Because exclusion feels really painful. They don't want to be excluded. The challenge for parents is understanding that peer pressure is rarely about the activity itself. The deeper issue, the deeper is the need for belonging. Children who feel deeply connected at home are generally less vulnerable to peer pressure, less vulnerable to unhealthy peer influence. This is just because they already know where they belong. Simple. They already know where they belong. They already know they are loved at home. Do you see that? They already know, that they are accepted fully at home. This is very important. This is why family connection is such a powerful protective factor. When a child's emotional tank is full at home, oh my God, they are less likely to seek unhealthy validation elsewhere. So this is our work as parents. If your child faced intense pressure tomorrow, would they choose acceptance or values? Would they choose popularity or identity? The answer often depends on how secure they feel in who they are. The strongest defense against peer pressure is not stronger rules at home. No, 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 no. It's stronger sense of identity. Do you understand? Now I need to gently turn our attention outward to the world our children walk into the moment they leave our front door. Because here, excuse me, here's the hard truth of diaspora parenting. There's actually a limit to how much we can protect our children. We know that, right? There's a limit to how much we can protect them inside our homes. They cannot stay in our living rooms forever. They can't at all. And out there, they are being exposed to things they are not ready for. Things we were never exposed to at their age. Let me tell you what I've seen with my own eyes recently. Even in my I took my children to a playground few weeks ago. A children's playground, like the place that is supposed to be, the safest, most innocent space in the world, right? And there in the middle of it, just at the corner, were two young children, maybe, I don't know, 10, 12, 13, thereabout, kissing deeply, nearly making out on the playground while small children were playing around. Can you imagine that? Another day at the train station, I watched two young girls kissing so intensely that one even had to climb onto the other. They pulled their coats over themselves at the train station, in public, in the front of whoever happened to be standing there, including children, of course. Can you imagine that? Why am I telling you this? Not to shock you, but because I need you to understand. Our children are being exposed to sexualized content, to forms of normalized sexual behavior, simply by existing in public spaces, simply by that. They've done nothing wrong. Things that they are not even developmentally ready to process at this time. And it is everywhere. It's everywhere, even in schools. This is the reality of raising children in the diaspora. And it's not just what we see or what they see. It's also what they are being told. It is also what we as parents don't even know that they are being told. I was speaking to a Nigerian father recently, a father of two boys here in the UK. And he told me with full confidence, he said to me, that vaping is safe. So it's not a big deal. I say, hey, my heart sank. Because here is what research actually shows. and what every parent in the diaspora needs to know about vaping. Vaping is being marketed to our children as harmless, right? It's not harmless, so and for a child, it is genuinely dangerous. That's the truth. Because a child's developing brain becomes addicted to nicotine faster and harder than an adult's brain. And that nicotine actively interferes with the same prefrontal cortex that we just talked about. Did you see that? The brain center for focus, learning, and self-confidence. And the scale of this is staggering. Honestly, in Great Britain and right now, around 1 in 5 children aged 11 to 17, that's roughly 1.1 million children, have tried vaping. Children, no, I'm not talking about adults. These products are designed with bright colors, sweet flavors, to appeal directly to young people. And our children are exposed to them in schools, in shops, online, especially on TikTok. Meanwhile, many parents, like that father, have no idea how addictive or harmful it actually is for a developing child. That gap between how it is actually sold and what it really does is exactly where our children fall. So here is how to close. Now, here is how close to home this is. In our last Thriving in Diaspora course, I gave our workbooks before we began, right? One mother sent me a message, upset. She said, Kojemo, why are you talking to an 8-year-old about vaping? And I understood. I understood her instinct, right? She wanted to protect her child's innocence. So I showed her my research. I showed her that there are even vape style toys. There are vape toys for one year plus being marketed to very young children as early as 1-2 years, vape toys. And that in a school, my research showed that in a school in England, in the South, vapes were found in the bags of children as young as 6 and 7 years old. 6 years old. So this is not a teenage problem anymore. It is arriving at our children's feet years before we are ready for the conversation. And it's not only what they see or what they vape, it is what they come to believe that matters the most. And how astonishingly early those beliefs take root. When my own daughter was just about 6 years old in year 1, a classmate of hers, that means the classmate was also about 6 years old. This girl told her that, if you're a girl and you marry a boy, you're just ordinary. But if you're a girl and you marry another girl, that makes you super, super special. Now, imagine for a moment. Imagine if I did not teach my daughter about marriage and the LGBTQ agenda before then. So she already knew the truth beforehand. So she was able to stand her grounds and, tell the classmates, she was able to challenge whatever the classmate was saying. But of course, other children around there were swallowing it. Do you understand? Now, sit with that for a moment. This is what I call the power of first mention. Whoever speaks to your child first about a thing, Coach Wendy always talks about this. Whoever gets there first shapes the frame through which your child will understand whatever it is for years to come. And in the diaspora, if you are not the first voice, I promise you, the playground, the classroom, even TikTok are competing so hard for that position every single day. This is not about fear. This is about formation. Our children are forming beliefs about identity, about relationships, about their bodies, about their self-worth far younger than we are admitting it. Honestly, the only real question is this: will they hear your voice and your family's values first? Or will they meet these enormous subjects completely unguided and quietly decide for themselves, what is true? So that gap is exactly why we created the Body Wisdom and Sex Education course for children and teenagers. I'll come back to that shortly or later, right? I want to share one more thing with you, the one that I carry most heavily, because you need to know what is truly at stake here. A mother came to me, she just said, I don't know what happened, Kojemo. I don't know what happened in his class that day. Another child had been troubling her son, and in response, this little boy, I think he's about 8 years, yeah, he had written down on paper different ways he could end his life. He wrote different ways I can kill myself. He drew a gun. He had drawn different ways. 8 years old, though. Thank God his teacher saw it. Thank God she alerted the mom. And thank God the mom, for someone, I told the mom, she found me. You see that? We are talking with the family right now. I'm also handling a similar case of a young girl as we speak at the moment. Very young girl. This girl is, she's 5. Yes. I'm not telling you these things to frighten you. I'm telling you because I love these children and because the early warning signs are quiet. They are very quiet. Withdrawal. Nobody likes me. Not wanting to go to school. It's just small. Do you understand? A change you can quite, you can't even quite name it. Children and teenagers are going through so much after relocation. So much. And we cannot afford to ignore it. We can't. Now, let's look at what brain science reveals to us. I'll go to my next slide. Now, what brain science tells us. The brain develops from the bottom up, right? So children borrow confidence from parents, okay, before they even build their own confidence. You understand? Before they build it within themselves. Neuroscience tells us that repeated messages become neural pathways, right? Whatever a child repeatedly hears, eventually becomes part of their internal identity. Do you get that? So if they repeatedly hear things like, you are capable, you are loved, you can learn, you can recover from mistakes, things like that, their brain begins to build resilience. If they repeatedly hear things like, you are not good enough, what's even wrong with you? Why can't you be like others? Why can't you be like your brother or like your sister? Those messages also become internal beliefs. So the voice of the parent eventually becomes the voice inside the child. Do you get that? And that is very powerful. The voice of the parent becomes the voice inside the child. So what do we actually do? The truth is this, I never leave parents in the problem. I bring them into the solution. So let me give you the principles I teach and that I have lived in my own home, right? And let me start by showing you the other side of my daughter's story. Excuse me. Because I learned, right? I got intentional when my second daughter started school. I was a different parent. I didn't want to make the same mistake I made for my friends. So I had learned, I was, intentional from day one. I built her foundation before the world could even shake it at all. The difference was like day and night, I'm telling you. She has been a high flyer from day one. Like, seriously, always winning awards and all of it. But here is one that meant the most to me. In nursery, she won an award for being the kindest child in her class. Kindest. Because whenever another child now was crying, she was the first to get a tissue, to go give a hug, to go to them, to sing to them. That was what the teacher was, to try to comfort them. That is emotional intelligence and empathy. It does not happen by accident. It happens by formation. Do you get that? Now, my second daughter is very dark-skinned, if you know her, Summa, much darker than my first. And in a world that sends our children 1,000 quiet messages about whose skin is better, I want you to hear this. Her confidence is unshakable from day one. In fact, at a friend's birthday party, I was sitting with some parents. It was her classmate's birthday party. I was sitting with some parents. We are watching the children play. And I mentioned that I'm a confidence coach for children. One of the parents, she was like, wow, no wonder. Your children are so confident. Somebody is amazingly confident. You can just see it. You can see it. That is the whole point. When you build it intentionally, it actually shows. It shows. So here are the principles. Just get your pen and paper. I hope you have your writing materials. Principle 1, environment. Environment is bigger than values. My parenting coach always says that. You can teach your child the most beautiful values at home. But if you then place them in an environment that contradicts those values every single day, the environment will win. Do you understand? This is why who your child listens to, who mentors them, the community they belong to is not optional. That's why I love the PSP platform. Put them in a community of like minds. Children need mentors who share your values, so that the environment is reinforcing your formation, not eroding your formation. This is exactly why the Exceptional Children's Tribe exists. Honestly, I always ask parents when parents come to me, like the mother that came to me and said the child drew a gun. I said, who is mentoring your child? Who is coaching your child? Do you understand? Principle 2, teach discernment. This is profound. The first temptation in human history was not a battle between good and bad, right? It wasn't a battle between good and evil. It was a battle between what looked good and what was actually wise. The fruit was pleasing to the eye, right? If you only teach your children to reject the obviously bad things, what happens? They become defenseless. The moment something harmful arrives looking attractive. So we teach them discernment. We teach them desire. We teach them discernment, not to follow their desires. Do you understand? Desire asks, does this feel good right now? But discernment asks, will this be good for later? So teach them how to pray and fast as well. In the Exceptional Children's Tribe, the children fast every Saturday. We fast every Saturday. And they really enjoy it because they've come to love it. We've had numerous testimonies from parents about our Saturday fast. Teach your children to pray and fast from an early age. From 3 years, my 3-year-old, she begins fasting till 10. Then when she gets to 5, it extends to 12 noon. Do you understand? Let your child also have a sense of responsibility. Do you understand? A child that has a mandate is less vulnerable to go with the wrong people or things like that. In my home, for example, we recite our family creed every single day. Yes, we built our family creed from our family values using the word shine. So the I stands for impact, impacting my world. So every day, my children, they are reminded that you are not ordinary. You have an assignment on earth. You're not here by chance. You must impact your world. Do you understand? You are here on purpose. The next principle 4 is, whose voice is the loudest? Your children will hear voices. They will see 1,000 things in school, online, wherever. Remember the power of first mention that we mentioned. The question is whether yours is the voice that got there first, and whether it is still the loudest. Oh, yes. So write this down and ask yourself tonight, whose voice has the greatest influence in my child's life today? Is it mine? Is it their mentors? Or is it a stranger or one classmate or one friend that you don't even know, or a screen? Your voice as a parent and the voice of mentors who share your values must be loud in your children's life. It must be influential and safe. Here's the deepest layer. Your children must also learn to hear God for themselves. To have their own foundation of identity that doesn't collapse the moment you are not in the room. Do you understand? They must hear God for themselves. The strongest identity in the world comes from a child knowing who they are and whose they are. And one last word on the subjects everyone is afraid to talk about is sex education. Yes. Here's the truth. You do not raise a sexually wise child by just starting a sex conversation. That's what I tell parents. You raise a sexually wise child by building a safe space or safe spaces around them first. Do you understand? By getting them into, mentorship, by giving them Principles before the temptation even arrives in the first place. So early enough, you have to give them principles early enough, because prevention is better than cure. Of course, with cure, you're always hanging on the messing line, right? Hoping it's not too late and stuff like that. Principles keep your child within the grace of safety long before the danger ever comes. So this is very, very important. I'll run to my next slide. Let me talk about these different strategies. Number one strategy I wrote here is become the chief identity officer of your home. Become the chief identity officer. Listen, your child's identity should not be left to chance at all. Teach them, just teach them who they are. Teach them whose they are as well. Teach them where they come from. Teach them what they believe in. What do you believe in? What do they stand for? What do you stand for? Whose they are. Listen, if schools, social media and influencers, even celebrities and peers are intentionally shaping our children, see, those people are very strategic. Then parents must become even more intentional and strategic. One of the most important roles of a parent is to become the chief identity officer of your home. Your child should hear repeatedly that you are loved, you are capable, you are valuable. Do you understand? Things like that. You were created for a purpose. Your identity is not built on, identity is not built in one conversation. It's built through thousands of conversations. You know that over many years. Children need roots before they can grow wings. They need roots first. Before they face the world, they need a strong internal foundation. The world will ask them, who are you? Right? Our responsibility is to ensure that they are ready. They already know the answer. Do you understand? If we do not define our children intentionally, the world will define them accidentally. I'm telling you, the world will define them accidentally. I'll go to strategy 2. Build emotional intelligence. This is so key. Teach children to recognize emotions, to understand emotions, to express emotions, to manage emotions, to empathize with others. Research consistently shows that emotional intelligence predicts success in relationships, in leadership, in well-being, and even resilience. Excuse me. Many children are taught mathematics, so many children are taught science in school, right? But very few are taught emotional literacy. This is a major part of what we teach in the Exceptional Children's Tribe. It's a major part of what we do. In fact, this month is our month of emotional intelligence. Children need help understanding what is happening inside of them. They need help. Do you understand? So please, parents, replace stop crying with tell me what you are feeling. Okay? Replace you are overreacting with help me understand what happened. Every emotion carries information. Anger may reveal injustice. Fear may reveal uncertainty. Sadness may reveal a loss, whatever. Emotion is not the enemy. Emotional ignorance is the enemy. So children who understand their emotions are less likely to be controlled by them, by their emotions. So can your child or your teen confidently identify what they are feeling and how they are feeling it? Can they? I'll run to the next slide. I'm trying to be fast now. Strategy 3 is build confidence intentionally. Children, see, confidence grows when children try, when children fail, when children learn, when children improve and succeed. Confidence is not built by telling children they are amazing every day. No. Confidence is built through competence. Children become confident when they experience challenges and they discover they can really overcome those challenges. Do you get that? Let them try. Let them struggle. Let them struggle. It's fine. Let them solve problems on their own. Let them learn from mistakes. Now, too many children are protected. They are so protected from failure. As a result, they become fearful of even failure itself. Children need opportunities to discover that, I can do hard things. Praise effort more than you praise outcome, parents. So instead of saying, you are so smart, Try. I love how hard you worked on this project or whatever it is. I noticed you didn't give up. I saw how determined you were. Those messages build resilience. Confidence is earned. It's earned through experience. It's not gifted through compliments. I hope you get that. I'll go to the next slide. Now, the next strategy 4, create a safe home environment. I've said this before. Your home should be the safest place for difficult conversations. Children feel safe. Your children should feel safe discussing mistakes, friendships, peer pressure, things like that, identity questions, even mental health issues. Yes, they should feel safe discussing it in your home. Social media concerns as well. Many children are afraid to tell their parents what is really, really happening in their lives, and that's not good. And this is not because they don't love their parents. No, it's just because they fear judgment, they fear punishment, they fear misunderstanding. Do you understand? So the goal is not merely to raise obedient children. I hope you know that. The goal is to raise children who trust us enough to tell us the truth. Do you get that? So ask yourself, if my child was being bullied, for example, would they tell me? If my child was confused about identity, would they tell me? If my child made a serious mistake, would they tell me? Connection creates influence. Children listen more to parents they feel very well connected to. So the strongest bridge between parent and child is not authority, it is trust. It is trust. It is trust. Now, speaking identity into your child's life is very important. Your words matter, you know that already. The voice children hear most often eventually becomes the voice they hear within themselves. So mind what you say and make sure that you keep speaking into their lives. I want every parent to become intentional. I want to become intentional about speaking life into your children. Become intentional about it. Many children are starving. They're starving for affirmation in a world full of, criticism. So we must be very intentional about it. The truth is that you don't have to do all this alone. You don't. Now, before I even invite you to anything, I want to earn it, because I would never really ask you to let me guide your children through something I am not living myself, right? So a few months ago, I'll tell you this story. A few months ago, I became a parent governor at my children's school. Now, I want to tell you how this whole thing happened, because the how is the whole point, okay? Just follow me. When the position came up, I decided to go for it. Not because I was sure I would win, no. Just because I wanted to serve, really. That's the truth. I wanted to serve, and my children were watching as well. I wanted them to see that. I wanted them to see what it looks like to step forward, right, and make an impact wherever you find yourself. So I prepared completely. In fact, as I was preparing, I also prepared 2 teaching sessions for my children. Yeah, for my own children. I do that. So I prepared 2 teaching sessions. One for if I won and one for if I lost. So either way, there was a lesson for them in it. So which meant I was all right. I had nothing to really fear. I had nothing to lose, right? So I campaigned, and the person actually that I was standing against was the former parent governor. Someone who had served the school brilliantly for the past 4 years. She was coming back, so I was, running against her. So everyone tried to talk me out of it. Some people were like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Her child has been there since she's in year 6 now. She has been there for 8 years. Nobody really knows you, as per me. Nobody really knows me, and you are even black. The discouragement everywhere. It came from every direction, actually. Discouragement. I wasn't deterred at all. And when the votes came in, the head teacher called me and she said something profound. She said, "You are simply incredible. I don't know what you did, but in fact," she said, "you had more than 90% of the votes. I really don't know how you did it." So I became the first black, first non-British parent governor that school has ever had. Now, that was me showing my children with my own life That it does not matter the color of your skin. Do you understand? You can lead wherever. You can make an impact anywhere at all. And it was not only it was not even the only time I was invited I was invited onto the board of trustees of my church sometime, was it last year or 2 years ago? A British church founded by two wonderful British couples. You know, the board had only ever been British, no Asia, it's been British all through, and frankly, much older people as well. The youngest member of that board is in her late 50s, right? So they came to me, I'm in my 30s, and they asked me to join. Now, I was like, okay, what even stood out to me was what they said to me when they came to ask me to join them. They said, we believe there is so much we can learn from you. That was very humbling for me. That was a really humbling moment. I tell you these things not to impress you, but to show you the principle. Do you understand? Our children learn best by what we model to them. Identity is taught by observation, not instruction. Our children do not become confident because we tell them to just be confident. No, it doesn't work that way. They become confident because they watch us walk into rooms we were told we did not belong in, and we thrive in those rooms. That is modeling, right? That's the modeling that builds unshakable children. And it's exactly what I pour into every child in the Exceptional Children's Tribe, honestly. So here is how I want to help you today. And I want to start with something completely free. Every Saturday at 1:30 p.m., we run the Exceptional Story Club on our YouTube channel, right? And it costs you nothing. It's completely free and it's for everyone. We use real life stories and fun games to teach children the very life skills we've talked about, right? Last month was our month of resilience and grit. So we explored Thomas Edison, we explored J.K. Rowling, we explored Walt Disney, Michael Jordan, people who failed and failed and still rose up anyway, right? This month is our month of emotional intelligence. Last week we talked about Nelson Mandela. Yes, Nelson Mandela. Today we talked about Malala. Get your children to join every Saturday. Let them come and taste what it feels like to belong to something that builds them. Do you understand? This is very, very important. Now, for the parents, I'm rounding off already. For the parents who are ready to go deeper, I have two things opening. And I want you to I want to be very honest about why each one exists. Now, first, remember the playground that I talked about, what I saw on the playground, the train station, the 6-year-olds with vapes and everything. In fact, even the 6-year-old that was already forming beliefs on same-sex marriage. The power of first mention is very important. This is exactly why I created the Body Wisdom and Sex Education course. Right? See, it's just powerful. It does precisely what I described. It builds the safe space and the principles first in a way that is gentle, in a way that is age appropriate, in a way that is protective of their innocence, rather than stealing it. It holds on the 27th of June and on the 4th of July. And because I want to reward the parents who act on what they hear today, yes, there is a priority registration discount ongoing, but it ends on the 15th of June at 12 midnight. After that, the price goes up to the normal price, which is £15. So if you're saying yes to that, if you say, if you think your child needs it today, don't let that feeling go. Act on it today. For parents who registered from this webinar today, you have a special discount. So instead of, I'm giving you a further 20% discount. So instead of registering on the priority registration discount fee of £11, you will pay only £9 just for today, only £9. From tomorrow, you have to pay your normal £11, and then after 15, it goes to the original fee, which is £15, right? So for those that are registering from here today, you can pay £9 just for today. Please do not let your child miss that course. Honestly, it's a life-changing opportunity. You don't want to miss it. We have specialized sessions for, different age groups. You can see it on the screen, 5 plus, 9 plus, 13 plus. We also have different sessions for males and females, right? The boys session will be hosted by Coach Dozie Eze. Coach Dozie Eze is a seasoned coach. And of course, he's a well-renowned TIP faculty member for those that are in the TIP. Some of you may really know him, yeah? While I will handle the girls session. So it's going to be profound. It's going to be deeply life transforming. We have 5 amazing, deeply impactful resources that you will also receive free of charge when you register. 5 deeply impactful resources. Once you register your child, you get them. 2 for you and 3 for your children. So please don't miss it. Do not miss it. Secondly, remember the press teenager I talked about, the one that sent me a message. You remember my daughter at the school gate, at the class gate every day. The studies showing relocation hits our children harder than adults. You remember all those? That is why we created the Thriving in Diaspora course for children and teens to give them the identity, the resilience, and the emotional intelligence to not just survive relocation, but to thrive in their new country. Registration opens on the 20th of June for that one. The course holds on the last Friday and Saturday of July. So it's holding in July. Mark those dates. It's very important. 24th to 25th of July, the Thriving in Diaspora course. Yes, on the screen are the resources you get when you register for the Body Wisdom course. Right. Now, the truth is that children ask questions every day. Questions about identity, questions about belonging, questions about culture, questions about values, questions about life in the diaspora. Now, many parents know the answer to these questions, or they know what they want to say. They know the answers they want to give, but they struggle to communicate it effectively. That is why I wrote the book, 100 Questions Diaspora Children Ask, and How Parents Can Respond with Wisdom. It's a powerful book. It's a powerful book, and I'm giving this book free of charge to parents who register for the Thriving in Diaspora course. And there's also another book that your child will receive that's Fearless and Unshakable. You don't want to miss it. I'm delighted to offer that book free of charge, 100 Questions Diaspora Children Ask, and How Parents Can Respond with Wisdom. Right? So once you register your child for the Thriving in Diaspora course, you get 2 amazing resources free of charge. Think of it as a parenting companion that will help you navigate some of the most important conversations you will ever have with your child. Your child will also get a powerful identity-changing workbook for that course when you register them. So the early bird fee is only £7 for the Thriving in Diaspora course, and of course, underneath all of this, the home where this all lives, where it all lives, is of course the Exceptional Children's Tribe. So get your children into mentorship, please. Yeah, the Exceptional Children's Tribe is a 1-year journey, a community of like-minded children and teens and families with mentorship, accountability, formation, a place for your child to belong. You see that? And to be built. Remember, Principle 1, environment is bigger than values. That was what we talked about first. The tribe is the environment that your child actually needs. It reinforces for you week after week, day after day, what you teach at home. The August cohort is opening in August, and I would really love your child to be in it. It will open immediately after our August Confidence Boot Camp, right? And then, of course, our books are. I'll just talk a bit about our books before I round off. Parents tell me the children find these books irresistible, and far more importantly, these books they change behaviors. Let me just give you a quick testimony I got recently. A mother messaged me one day. She was like, "What on earth did you write in Unstoppable?" It was Unstoppable Me that her child had just read. Her daughter Grace had read Unstoppable Me. Now, Grace had never ever liked chores, right? Never ever liked chores. Never. This mom now left for work one Saturday morning, left early while Grace was still asleep, and then came home late at night with a completely transformed home. Like she said, it was almost difficult for her to recognize her home. She said Grace had cleaned everywhere, top to bottom. Nobody asked her to do that. You see, nobody reminded her. This was a child who didn't like chores. She did it because she had just read Unstoppable Me. We have numerous testimonies like that. I had a mother telling me that her son, about 6 years, or 6 or 7 years. She said this child always likes new things. The newest things what he likes. But after reading Money Smart, she said to me, I bought him a new costume for World Book Day. And my son said, Mommy, No, we need to save money. Mommy, please return this one. I'll use the one I used last year. The mother was shocked. And she actually returned it. She said she was shocked. She told me this has never happened in his life before. We have numerous testimonies, about our books as well. So I'll advise you, get our books. We've sold over 1,500 copies of these books. They are amazing. Get the book bundles for your children. Readers are leaders. We know that when people know better, they behave better. How will our children know better if they don't read? Right? So I'll be rounding off now. I've had I had a parent said that the child came back so excited that she was now that someone had said she was so kind in class today, and the mother was like, He said, yes, I'm trying to become more kinder now after reading my book. We've had a lot of testimonials like that. You see that. I will drop exactly how to get our books and the links to all the courses I talked about in the group. So let me just leave you with this. Everything I've shared today comes down to one decision. In the Garden of Eden, the boundaries came before the temptation, not after the fall, right? Do not wait for the destruction before you take action. Don't wait for the destruction before you even build the protection. Do you understand? Don't wait until your child is exposed and influenced to start. Do you understand? Build the foundation early. Build the foundation now while their voice is still listening to you or still listening for yours. Your child is not ordinary. They have a mandate. They have an assignment. They are a light to their world. So our job, yours and mine, together is to make sure that nothing out there ever convinces them to dim their light. Get them into the free story club next Saturday. Secure your spot in the body wisdom course. Get them into the Thriving Diaspora course. Watch out for the Thriving in Diaspora course. The registration is opening on the 20th of this month. Pick up books for them. Bring them into the Exceptional Children's Tribe for the August Club. Let's raise truly, truly exceptional children who stand strong together. Thank you so, so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'll take your questions now. Thank you so much, Ms. Satinuke, for this opportunity. I truly am very, very grateful. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take questions now, please.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Coach JMA. That was a beautiful
It's Coach
presentation.
JMO.
Ma?
Coach JMO.
JMO, sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. Where did I get the A from? Coach JMO, thank you so much. That was a beautiful presentation. And if you can see, the comment section is already bustling, like people dropping their points for you to know that they were really, really following the conversation. Please, if you have any question, can you drop it in the chat, in the comment section, so that I can pick it up for her? I've not seen any so far. And please, I've posted in the link for the registration. Don't miss out on this opportunity. And thank you so much, even for the discounts you are giving for the registration. Please don't miss out on it. Click on the registration link and register right away. Any question from anyone? Are we saying we understood everything she has said? We'll run with it. We don't need any questions to ask any question. Or is someone trying to type? Should we wait? Please feel free type your questions. I think we should wait a bit. What do you think? Because I'm not seeing any question in the comment section yet. Maybe someone is trying to type. So thank you once again, Coach JMO. And please do well to register. Do well to register. Your environment is bigger than your values. Put your kids in the right environment. Okay, someone is asking question. Come on, don't hang. Okay, now my system is on. My question is, how can you build confidence in a 13-year-old child?
So it's everything I've talked about applies to both, younger child and older children. A 13-year-old child, in fact, is still an early teen, so it's still very doable. Like I said, make sure that you are a safe space for that child. Let your voice be the loudest in the child's, life. Begin early. Put the child in the right environments. Make sure the child is being mentored by coaches that share the same value as them, right? Mentorship is key for teens. It is so important because there are some things they will not hear from you, but they will hear it from their mentors. There are some cases that they may not listen to you, but they will listen to their mentors. Make sure you surround them with an environment of like minds, of people who share their values. Because as I said, belonging is something that is very, very, very important for children, especially for that age. So let them belong, but let them belong to the right circle. Make sure you're influencing their circle of influence, like people around him. Who are his friends? Make sure that he's in the right. You can actually determine the environment your child is by putting him in the right spaces, right? So that he can be able to choose the right friends from the environment that you have curated intentionally for him. This is how you build his confidence. Do you understand? Everything I've talked today is actually applies to both the younger children and the older children. So for everything, the whole principles I mentioned and the strategies, put them into practice, and you will have a very confident 13-year-old child. Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, so Jacqueline is saying, no question, just a note of appreciation to the organizers and also to my own coach, GMO.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Jacqueline.
Chinasa is also saying, thank
Yeah.
you, Coach GMO.
Thank you so
Uh,
much, Ma.
so I'm sure the reason people are not asking questions is because they want to sign up for your coaching club. Like,
Oh, these ones have already signed up. I know them.
okay, okay. Like, it's our thing. We know where to get her. What time is the course? Someone is asking.
So the course, yes, on 27th and 4th. The first session is the teen session, 13 plus. It starts at 3 p.m. It's 3 p.m. to 4. Second session is the ages 9 plus, which starts 4:30 to 5:30. Then the last session is ages 5 plus, which starts by 6 to 7. So there are three different sessions, first three. So we usually start with the teens and then end with the children session.
Okay,
The
so
same timing for both days.
my question is, I understand my daughter knows her identity, but sometimes it shakes. How do I help her to make it grounded? So 1 minute she's confident, next minute she's not even sure of which it is. How
So
do
we
you?
need to understand the root of what is actually causing that shakeable confidence. There must be something underneath. So it's about being able to listen to the cues, listen to what she's not saying, understand what is causing it. Because when you understand the root of a problem, you are able to solve it much more than when you're looking at it from the peripheral aspect, right? And just as I said, make sure you are also that safe voice for her at home. Make sure your home is safe enough for her to discuss anything, to share anything with you. Make sure that she's in the right environment as well. Make sure that you are affirming her at home and you're giving her challenges, age appropriate challenges that will challenge her, make her feel that she's competent, right? Make sure you teach her through, life scenarios. Let her try things through failures and stuff so that you build her resilience, you build her confidence in that way. But most importantly, find out the root. What is causing the shake in her? There might be something causing the shake in her confidence. Find out the root. Keep asking questions. Keep listening to what she's not saying, and you'll be able to tackle it appropriately.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for sharing the link. So people are saying thank you.
Oh,
Thank you,
you're
Coach
welcome.
GMO. It was really an insightful session.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Talking to the
Thank you so
organizers of
much.
this program. It's amazing. So please, if you know your friends that couldn't join live, tell them they can also catch a replay with the link. It's still the same link. They can always catch a replay. And you can also go back and listen over and over again. You can't get tired of knowledge. You have to keep listening. Faith comments by hearing and
Yes, sir.
hearing. So
The
you
word
keep
of God.
hearing until you're able to build that. And don't forget to sign up for these courses. I've put in the registration link. I think I need to copy it again for those that are just joining. So please register your children. And we have a discount.
Yes, for today.
So you have to maximize it and make the best use of it before the trend leaves. So grab your copy now. Grab your copy now. Alrighty. Are we expecting any more question or we call it a day? It's been an insightful session for us. So, Coach, before we go, just give us your parting words. What would you like parents to hold on to?
Well, I would just say, as I said before, environment is bigger than values, honestly, because if you take, no matter how frozen a thing is, or no matter how hot something is, you put it in the freezer for a whole day, it gets frozen, right? No matter how hot your child is, some children are on fire, like hot. If you put them in the wrong environment, it will influence them. So please, environment it matters. Curate your children's environment. Intentionally curate your children's environment. That's where they can choose their friends from. That's where they can, learn from. Let your child, don't give space to the devil, please. Let your child join mentorship. We have a lot of amazing mentorship platforms. Let your child join mentorship if you're listening to me. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I truly appreciate it. I see a lot of exceptional children's tribe parents. God bless you all. Thank you so much for coming. I truly, truly appreciate you all. And thank you so, so much, Mr. Atinike, for this privilege and opportunity. I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you so much, ma. I'm so, so grateful. God bless you.
All
And God
right.
bless PSP for your
Please.
amazing work you all are doing.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
you.
It's so good, such an honor to host you. And for those that missed the introduction part, this webinar is hosted by the PSPiUK, that's Parents Supporting Parents in the UK. It's a community of like-minded people where we support one another to raise awesome families in the UK. Uh, Feel free to join us. I posted the link earlier. Let me see if I can bring it up again. Just feel free to join us. Just make sure that you are joining with a UK number. And yeah, like just to reinforce what Coach had said, your children need to have mentors. The truth is, as they get older, your level of influence reduces. You don't have that much power any longer, so you need to curate an environment around them such that if they are not speaking to you, you can be sure they are speaking to a
Yeah,
trusted adult who has similar values, who share similar values with with your family, so you can be sure that okay, your kids are in safe hands. I know, okay, if you don't want to talk to me, go and talk to auntie so so so, and you can be sure that whatever advice the person
yeah,
is going to give is the same thing you would have also given. So please curate an environment for your children to thrive. Don't do life alone, and don't assume I don't want to have friends. I don't want to no. Just be intentional. It's not for your own sake, it's for the sake of your children and because of the environment we are in. Thank you so much once again. So, like I said, if you'd like to join the group, here is the link to join the Parents Supporting Parents in the UK group. And look forward to joining us again for the next webinar. We'll definitely share more information when it's time. So thank you so much, Coach GMO, for being on the call today. And to everyone that also joined, thank you for your time. I hope it was real value for mine. And I'm definitely making some great decisions as a result of this webinar. So enjoy the rest of your evening and the weekend and look forward to speaking with you or you joining us on the next webinar anytime soon. So cheers everyone. Bye.
bye. Bye.
Bye.